Man, we got $200-300 million, man, to get in the ring with, we got $150 million to get in the ring with Mike Tyson on some exhibition shit. And then 6 months later, we got $300 million for you to get in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. He look it up, he like, that's $450 million. Shit, fuck it. Sometimes you miss the light, but I can guarantee you, he ain't broke. He's making a lot of sound investment. You hear me, Cam Capone?
Yep.
This I know for a fact. He's making a lot of sound investment. And the investments I've seen being made ain't the investments of someone that's broke.
Did he get rid of his private planes?
I'm hearing stories that he's having to sell off some stuff.
I heard
selling
some
off
stuff.
homes and a plane and so forth. Now look. At the end of the day, Floyd's broke is our wealthy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I can't imagine making as much money as Floyd Mayweather did and being broke at 47 and having to come back and fight. I can't. The guy's, he had to have made $500 million.
The boxing world has exposed why Floyd Mayweather is fighting Manny Pacquiao and Mike Tyson all of a sudden in a year, claiming financial issues have forced the fighter to take such a risk.
Your story, but is Floyd broke? What a stupid question. Are you a stupid person? Of course he's broke. He's a boxer that allegedly doesn't know how to read.
Vlad describes Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s extreme spending, citing private jets, luxury expenses, and unusually high daily costs. He also claims Mayweather maintained a very expensive lifestyle with staff, cars, and constant lavish spending.
Floyd has never flown commercial, I think.
And people don't understand how much that gas is.
Oh my God. I had heard, like, not only does he have a private plane, but I heard he has another private plane where his, like, entourage could go on because he doesn't want to deal with him. When he's flying. He has a guy whose full-time job is to clean all his cars. He won't ride his car unless it's all fully clean.
Right.
I heard he was spending something like $20,000 a night at the steakhouse for months at a time. He'd go there every night and spend $20,000, $30,000 every time. Like, it was like the amount of money
that's insane
that he was spending was just
Did
crazy.
he get rid of the planes?
What's that?
Did he get rid of his private planes?
I'm hearing stories that he's having to sell off some stuff.
I heard
selling
some
off
stuff.
homes and a plane and so forth. Now look. At the end of the day, Floyd's broke is our wealthy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You and I put together will never touch Floyd's wealth.
Absolutely.
Even after all this.
Yes.
Now listen, we actually have an interview with Nicholas Irving.
Yes.
Who was the former sniper. Who I
Okay.
guess did security for Floyd at one point. So he had hung around him for a few weeks.
Yes.
Because he was hired. He used to see Floyd spend $1 million a day.
However, Cash McElroy Jones, aka Wack 100, dismisses claims that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is broke, arguing those rumors have followed him for years without proof. He points to Mayweather's wealth and lifestyle, suggesting that the upcoming fights are driven by interest rather than money.
They're accusing him of going broke because he's looking for these fights.
They've been accusing Floyd of going broke for 20 years. Now, let's talk about going broke. Maybe down to 200 million. Maybe that's his broke. I don't know.
Maybe that's his broke.
What I do know is his homes is still there because when he tell me to come see him, it's the same addresses. Every time he called me, it's stars on the roof, right? So I don't know unless somebody is hacked into this man's finances. They always accuse the man of going broke. So maybe he's bored.
Mainly 50.
Maybe he's bored.
Wack 100 believes Floyd Mayweather Jr. takes big money exhibition fights out of interest and the pull of the spotlight, not financial pressure. He argues Mayweather continues to make smart investments, making the idea of him being broke unrealistic.
Maybe he's bored. Maybe somebody came and told him, man, we got $200-300 million, man, to get in the ring with, we got $150 million to get in the ring with Mike Tyson on some exhibition shit. And then 6 months later, we got $300 million for you to get in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. He look it up. Man, we got $200-300 million, man, to get in the ring with, we got $150 million to get in the ring with Mike Tyson on some exhibition shit. And then 6 months later, we got $300 million for you to get in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. He look it up. He like, that's $450 million. Shit, fuck it. Sometimes you miss the light, but I can guarantee you, he ain't broke. He's making a lot of sound investment. You hear me, Cam Capone?
Yep.
This I know for a fact. He's making a lot of sound investments. And the investments I've seen being made ain't the investments of someone that's broke.
On the other hand, Joe Rogan also addresses claims about Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s bankruptcy, pointing to his spending habits and high-cost lifestyle. He suggests Mayweather lives as if the money flow never stops, despite massive career earnings.
Like it's a tap. Like he's got a tap, just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like there's all these lawsuits, like he hasn't been paying things and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Terrence Crawford highlights the flashy lifestyle of Floyd Mayweather Jr., pointing to his public displays of wealth through cash and luxury items. Joe Rogan adds that heavy spending on supercars and expensive watches can quickly reduce even massive fortunes.
It's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he gotta be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know.
All the money. He got to show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and the latest car and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that shit. Like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like $3 million. There's watches that are $3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
Crazy.
I remember Iran Barkley was talking about that. Iran Barkley, when he was in his prime, was hanging out with all these professional athletes.
Joe Rogan and Terrence Crawford both view a Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather exhibition as unusual but still highly intriguing for fans. Rogan points to Tyson's big size advantage, while Crawford questions whether Tyson could actually deal with Mayweather's defensive style, especially after recent performances that showed limited sharpness.
You gonna watch it though?
I'm gonna watch it. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch him fighting Mike. I think that's crazy. He's gonna have an exhibition with Tyson, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mike is so much bigger than him.
Yeah,
he's
but
so much bigger than him.
He's not gonna land a fist on Mayweather.
Right.
It's not after his last performance.
Expanding his thoughts, Terrence Crawford separates real wealth from flashy behavior, saying genuinely rich people often stay private while others feel the need to show money off. Joe Rogan agrees, adding that true wealth is usually quiet rather than constantly displayed.
You know?
Right.
They walk around in plain Jane clothes, no nothing.
Yep.
You know, but the people that have a little bit of money, they want you to know that they got a little bit of money, but they don't have the wealth.
Right.
So I'd rather be wealthy than rich any day of the week.
Yes. And sneak around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And keep it.
Grant Cardone also criticizes the way Floyd Mayweather Jr. handles his finances, pointing to high spending and risky investments as possible limits on long-term wealth growth. He argues that even with huge career earnings, Mayweather's financial decisions may have influenced how stable his money remains over time.
You know, Floyd Mayweather's got 22 million people following him, but is it any good? Like I don't know what it does with him. Like, does it do business with him? Does it transact with him? I know guys with big followings. But there's nothing happens as a result of the following.
So you on the is Floyd rich or is Floyd broke? Which side?
I don't know. I don't. You know, I think Floyd ends up broke.
Ends up broke.
If he doesn't, it's not a Floyd thing. It's not a Floyd thing. It's an asset thing. If you don't end up in assets, you end up broke.
Furthermore, Dre Baldwin questions the unclear picture of Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s true financial standing, saying only his earnings are visible while his full assets and debts are unknown. He adds that Mayweather's public image is strongly tied to showing wealth, which would make any financial pressure more noticeable and damaging to his reputation.
Yeah, we know what he made off the amounts that was announced, but what we don't know is what he did with his money, how liquid it is, how much assets he remains having, and what are his liabilities. We don't know. The challenge for Floyd, and it's a challenge with a lot of young black men who become famous, is that he made a brand out of, let me show you what I have. I've made this much money. Let me take another picture with stacks of money. Let me tell you I made great investments, so I'm good with money. He's been saying this for years. He built his brand off of it, literally changed from pretty boy to money. And if he ends up having money problems, he can't keep up that image, but he has to do something to go get the money. And in the ring, I love watching Floyd. It would be sad to watch him fight somebody like Terrence Crawford and get destroyed and destroy the image that we have of Floyd. The challenge with him, again, is he decided to build his brand around, I have a bunch of money. And this looks like what Ocho Cinco was referring to. It looks like he's doing it for the money. I hope, just like Shannon Sharp said, I hope he's doing it just because he just wants to fight and he doesn't have anything better to do. It doesn't look like that based on the way that he has branded himself over the last 20 years, but I guess maybe we'll find out, maybe we won't. But that article that you were referring to, Steve, I can't remember which publication put it out there, but they laid out a lot of the stuff that he allegedly is in trouble with financially.
Adding his thoughts on Floyd's financial issues, a boxing analyst suggests Floyd Mayweather's packed fight schedule could be tied to ongoing financial motivation, pointing to multiple planned bouts, including a possible rematch, as a way to keep earnings active. However, he also stresses that even in that context, Mayweather is nowhere near a real financial struggle by normal standards.
And now Floyd Mayweather is getting ready to have 3 fights this year. He's looking to fight Mike Tyson April 21st in Africa. Then he's going to fight in June against an Asian fighter, again, a kickboxer. And then he's looking to have a real boxing match in September 19th to be exact, against Manny Pacquiao, a rematch. He's looking to recoup all that money. This is just a confirmation. This is an admission. That's what this is, an admission. This is Floyd Mayweather telling you, I need the money.
The analyst believes Floyd Mayweather Jr. has ongoing financial commitments such as fight payouts, business ventures, and taxes that may be contributing to his active return to boxing. He suggests these responsibilities could partly explain his frequent scheduling of fights. The analyst also notes that Mayweather's public display of wealth often invites extra scrutiny around any talk of his finances.
But he owes a lot of people money. He owes Logan Paul $1.5 million. He owes the jewelry place $1.5 million. On his businesses, girl collections, he's owing, on taxes, he's owing millions of dollars. That's why he's doing all these promos and he's doing all these fights. So you can't, people talk, man, why are people worrying about his money? Because that's who he is. Every time you turn around, he throws his money in everybody's face.
Cam Newton also addresses speculation around Floyd Mayweather Jr. and his finances, mentioning public claims about high spending and business setbacks. He notes that such reports create discussion about long-term stability, but keeps his comments respectful. He also stresses that Mayweather is still regarded as one of the greatest fighters of his era.
So all in all, I'm saying to myself, how is it that the most decorated fighter of my lifetime struggling now? It was, speculative that he had $500,000 a day splurges. Yeah. Is that sustainable? He had multiple business ventures that failed. He had the lifestyle with multiple women and different things like, bro, I get it. But dang, and let this be a message to all athletes. And I'm not trying to rag on Floyd, because I still have so much respect for Floyd. Every time I see Floyd, it's like, he one of the ones. Yeah. Because contrary to whatever it is, he's still a great fighter.
Jason Whitlock references ongoing rumors about financial issues involving Floyd Mayweather Jr., including talk of bankruptcy and selling assets connected to his Mike Tyson fight. He claims that Mayweather's flashy lifestyle and heavy spending over the years may have created financial strain despite his huge earnings. Whitlock presents it as an example of how poor financial discipline can catch up even after major success.
All across social media, there are rumors and stories coming out about Floyd Mayweather, him auctioning off property, him being in bankruptcy, him being out of money, and that's why he's going to fight Mike Tyson. Saw this incredible tweet where a guy listed all the things Floyd Mayweather wasted money on while living in Las Vegas and just living for the culture. That's what Floyd Mayweather is an example of. The stupidity of living for the culture and trying to be relatable and trying to be this incredible icon or example of, look how much money I've made. He's blown it all, and now at 49 years old, he's got to go back into the boxing ring and continue to fight because he's in a lot of debt.
Jason Whitlock criticizes athletes for overlooking financial red flags, using Floyd Mayweather Jr. as an example. He argues that public gambling and flaunting large wins can signal deeper money risks, warning that repeated betting behavior often leads to financial decline.
What message as Christians are we sending to other women that perhaps have been sexually promiscuous, realize the error of their ways, want to be redeemed in Christ, want to find a man that will look at them like she is special, like she is pure?
My promiscuity was a sin against God, and I deserved help.
What message are we sending to these young women? That there's no hope, and so they might as well remain whores.
Wade Plemons raises concerns about a Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao rematch, saying both fighters should benefit financially, but warning it could hurt their legacies. He believes fans who once saw them as all-time greats may struggle with their current level, making the bout feel more like an exhibition than a true competitive fight.
I want both guys to get paid, but this is just going to be sad, and this is why I said sometimes you need to preserve your legacy. And I know Floyd says, legacy don't pay my bills, and clearly he's got a lot to pay. Maybe the same with Mike. But there's a certain portion of the population that's going to look at these two and think, what? This was the greatest heavyweight of an era? This was the greatest boxer ever in Floyd Mayweather? That's the guy? Both of them have trouble I mean, Floyd still can move around. Floyd's still fluid, but Mike can barely move. Floyd is not obviously anywhere close to what Floyd was. And it's probably going to be Floyd dancing on Mike the entire time to a weird little, like, sparring session, decision, exhibition ending thing, right? Where they both get their hands raised, no one gets touched with any sort of violence or anything, and we leave going, yeah, that was super embarrassing. I just either wasted my money or wasted my time.
Wade Plemons warns that this rematch could damage both fighters' legacies, despite the financial upside. He argues that fans who once viewed them as all-time greats may find it difficult to accept their current level, making the fight feel more like an exhibition than a true competitive bout.
You know what I mean? Like, they're asking us to watch a boxing match. We're gonna go watch some sort of attempt to perform, but it won't be anything close to what we want. So yeah, man, I just think it's sad. I think it's embarrassing for Floyd, mainly, that he needs to keep doing this, and maybe a little bit for Mike. I feel more bad for Mike than anything. I feel a little bit more embarrassed for Floyd after flexing all that money for years and years to have to come back, and the tax man needs his 20 mil, and the debt collectors need their 50 mil, and now he's in a lawsuit with Showtime because it's clearly becoming a financial issue with Floyd. That's an embarrassing thing for him, but maybe the same with Mike. It's just more sad.
Despite all this backlash, Floyd Mayweather doesn't care about anyone's opinions and is focused on his upcoming matchups. Whether it's for money or for the love of the sport, one thing is for sure, fans are going to get entertained. Coach Rodney praises Floyd Mayweather Jr. for maintaining a strong physical condition ahead of the Pacquiao rematch despite his age. He points to Mayweather's training sessions, including work with Roger's son, as evidence that he remains focused, sharp, and still dangerous in the ring.
It's official that Floyd Mayweather will be fighting Manny Pacquiao on Netflix in Las Vegas at the Sphere. First reaction to the news, and what do you think about it?
Like I say, Floyd, he's a competitor, you know, and he's ready. You know, I already, you know, heard, you know, through the grapevine, he's been working with his nephew, Roger's son. That's a real good pad man, sort of like his father, you know, and they said he did real good with Floyd. So just by hearing that, Floyd already, you know, on that thing. Like I talked to Dewan told me something about, you know, the Pacquiao fight, and, you know, they finna make that happen and this and that. So I think Floyd's ready.
Meanwhile, Max Kellerman respects Floyd Mayweather's technical mastery, but still ranks Manny Pacquiao higher on his all-time pound-for-pound list. He values both as legends, yet believes Pacquiao's success across multiple weight classes carries greater historical significance. Even so, he does not pick Pacquiao over Mayweather in a direct head-to-head matchup.
Watching Floyd fight is actually more my style of that perfect boxer.
That's what
when I do a pound-for-pound ranking, I'm trying to be objective. Pacquiao jumped more weight classes. What he did pound for pound to me was more impressive.
But you have him over Floyd.
But I never thought Pacquiao was going to beat Floyd, ever.
But Pacquiao, he's one of my favorite fighters. Who? Floyd and Pacquiao, they're one of my favorite fighters. But I still want to see
Floyd's the longer, bigger, better defensive fighter.
Right.
You know.
But let's be real. What this is all about, business. This is going to be a mega event. Doesn't matter how old they are. They're the two biggest names in boxing today, even if they aren't, necessarily the most active fighters.
Ryan Garcia also ranks Manny Pacquiao the greatest pound-for-pound fighter in boxing history, citing his dominance across multiple divisions. He credits Pacquiao's knockout power and achievements in different weight classes as proof of his elite status. Garcia says Pacquiao's legacy and impact separate him from every other fighter.
I've always had Manny Pacquiao above Floyd pound for pound, and just in the history of boxing, you never heard of a guy that could go from those weight classes and still dominate, knocking out Cotto, knocking out Ricky Hatton with one shot, destroying Oscar De La Hoya. Made him look like he was nothing. I mean, for me, Manny Pacquiao is always going to have that, and I was always a huge fan of him growing up, so yeah, for me, he takes the cake.
However, Breadman Edwards praises Floyd Mayweather Jr. for his elite reflexes and sharp hand-eye coordination. He explains that long careers depend on genetics and physical wear, and believes Mayweather could still compete well against top 147-pound fighters.
I do. He looks like he's retaining a lot of his reflexes and his hand-eye coordination, and I think that there's guys he could beat, actually. I know it sounds crazy, but I think there's a few guys he could beat at 47.
Is that more, do you give more credit to Floyd for that, or do you look at the welterweight division and say, might be?
I think it's both. I think there's some athletes that have real neat athleticism, and they just gifted where they can just retain their athleticism. Some athletes can't. It just depends on how much punishment you take.
Lekai Mayweather highlights Floyd Mayweather Jr. as being in top form ahead of the Pacquiao rematch, saying he looks stronger and more locked in than before. He credits Mayweather's fight IQ and disciplined training, noting every movement is intentional and built for precision.
Is Floyd that much, even at this age and at this, part of his career where most fighters, they're like 1/4 of their abilities? Is he, like, when they say Floyd Mayweather, even at this age, it's unparalleled?
Yes, and it's so crazy. I don't even know how to describe it. He's just that much smarter than everybody else. That's just what it boils down to. His IQ is so much better than everybody else's, right? Everything we do on the mitts, we're doing it for a reason when we do it. And I think that's the difference between him and other fighters is if you're in the midst, if you're doing the mitts with other fighters and you stop, most of them can't tell you why we just did what we did. He can tell you everything. He can tell you the reason he stepped with his left foot before his right foot. Everything has a purpose. Yeah, so that he's just that much smarter than everybody else.
Lekai Mayweather believes the rematch will look different, saying Manny Pacquiao's pace has dropped while Floyd Mayweather Jr. remains sharp and fast. He describes the first fight as a tactical battle, but expects Mayweather's timing and precision to cause more problems this time. He also adds that age and ring wear have affected Pacquiao, giving Floyd an even bigger edge.
Yeah, I feel like it might be a different fight on Pacquiao end. Because we've seen him in the ring. He has slowed down. Floyd hasn't slowed down. So the last fight, of course, was a high-stakes chess match. I think this fight plays out as a Manny trying to keep up with Floyd.
Wow.
Because he is still that sharp. And I'm not just talking, he still is that sharp. It's ridiculous. And because we done see Manny been in wars, Manny been knocked out. That takes a toll on the body.
Jeff Mayweather backs Floyd Mayweather's ability to still compete at a high level, highlighting his discipline and strict training habits. He believes that even with age, Floyd Mayweather Jr. can remain competitive against top fighters due to his focus and professional lifestyle.
I think that if anybody was to come back, he could come back and be successful.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I don't think that, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, and his work ethic, that still hasn't left. So, even though he's older, I think that he still can compete with these guys out here today.
Jeff Mayweather points to the huge attention around a Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao rematch, calling it one of boxing's biggest possible events. He believes no active fighter today matches their level of fame or global impact. Jeff also feels slightly disappointed that the sport still lacks new stars on the same scale as the two legends.
Could we get the rematch that, a lot of people have been wanting, you think, with Mayweather and Pacquiao?
Oh, of course. Like I said, it's a shame that that's probably one of the biggest fights in boxing now. And that's ridiculous. With all these other young fighters, nobody still hasn't got to that height of fame. And that's a shame. But there are a lot of good young fighters that that I see myself growing up, coming up, and that I really like, but I don't think that right now their name and their talent, and their fame haven't reached to that level yet. And so Floyd and Pacquiao are still the two biggest names in boxing without even fighting. And it's sad. It's really sad to me.
So that wraps up today's video. Share your thoughts on the fight in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated with the latest news and insider breakdowns.